And we're live. Another edition of the Johnny and Gene Show. I'm Felix Levine. To my right, John Alite. And to my far right, Gene Borrello. And today we are joined on the phone by Marco. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime. Nice to be on the show.
So we'll just, very quickly, I'll let you kind of introduce yourself for the people that aren't familiar with you. I think that would only do justice. So will you just give a quick background on a little bit of your story? I know you have a very fascinating one for the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, my name is Marco Santi. My birth name, Marco Santiago. And I was born and raised in the Fort Apache section of the South Bronx on September 1969. And I was a lot of things in my life. I had with the Terror Squad with Fat Joe when I was younger, and then ultimately with music and in military service.
And how long did you do all those things?
I was when I joined Terror Squad, it was in 1982. We were a graffiti group at the time. And from there on, it started, went into, the drug selling and, doing a lot of things that we weren't proud of. But from there, I joined the military because I knew, indictments were going down, people were getting arrested. And so I decided to go ahead and join the military. And from there, I had a military career and retired. And I started doing music, as I believe I sent you some videos and stuff of that. And then I did that for until about 2014. And then from there, I just basically I'm retired right now. But it was my life. My life's a big storybook, man. Let me tell you, I've done a lot, especially in combat.
Now, John, how do you guys? I'll let John kind of take it away with how do you know Marco,
Mm-hmm.
and is there a little story there?
Yeah, well, me and Marco met when I first came home, and then we went back and forth through some of the shows I did, some of the business he did, some mutual people
Mm-hmm.
that we knew with each other, and we stayed friendly, kicked it back and forth. And Marco, I appreciate, he came back and supported me, helping kids in the street and some of the stuff I was doing.
Right.
And he offered to always be there and help with kids, and we hit it off about a lot of subjects. He knows a big guy that gives a lot of. I commend a lot of guys like him that went into armed forces. He knows about PTSD. We both have it.
Exactly.
From the way he grew up. He grew up in the street, right, Marco? I believe you. Even your mom's got hurt in the street at one time.
Yeah, my mom actually was almost killed in a robbery, right in front of her house while she was sweeping she was sweeping in front of her apartment. She was almost strangled to death. This was maybe about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. And I grew up in the super crack epidemic and drugs and that kind of era.
And for those who don't know, the Bronx is one of the most violent, dangerous boroughs then and still is to this day. It's extremely out of control over there.
Well, Marco, they did the movie with Paul Newman, Fort Apache. You remember that famous?
Right. I was actually looking at it as a kid while they were filming.
Wow.
When they were throwing the rocks and everything out of the 42nd precinct over there down the hill. They call it Dead Man's Hill. And we were all sitting there while they're filming the movie. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Hey, Marco, I want to ask you, what was your relationship with Fat Joe? What was that like? When did that come about?
Me and Fat Joe actually grew up together. I lived in McKinley Projects, and Fat Joe lived in Forest Projects in 1000 Trinity, is where he lives. It was actually right across the street. And we met one day writing graffiti. Graffiti was really big in the 80s. And so we met doing the graffiti. And then from there, man, we were just attached to the hip until I left to the military. Joe he's a good guy. He doesn't, Joe is like I say, I call it, and I wanted to tell John, I call him a real G, and this is the reason why I call him. See, there's guys like John and Joe are kind of, they're just hand in hand, because these guys, they did in the streets, they sold the drugs, they did, the murders, they did the things like that. And these guys are just real gangsters, man. You know what I'm saying? And what he's doing now is just blows me away, and that's why I wanted to reach out to him, because he's actually saving the kids' lives.
Right.
People are starting to listen. Kids are starting to ask me questions like, "Hey, man, how can I get involved? How can And I tell them, you know what I mean? Just contact the guys down to earth. I don't know if John remembers, but I used to, while I was in the military, I had got a job with a company called Explore Investigation Agency. And I get a little bit into how the mob came into my life. And we got a job guarding the consolidated trucks down on 17th Street, right across the street from the post office. I'm pretty sure you know where that is, John.
Yeah, I do. And I remember Marco, me and you.
Down the east side.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guarded those trucks, and so the feds won't bug them. And I had constant contact with Joseph Gambino and his brother Tommy, and they treated us really well, and that's how how I got introduced to some guys that were connected, and some that were made guys and stuff like that. So.
Now, Marco, quick question for you. You talked about living a life of crime before, and we know the history with the two gentlemen next to me, but this show is a big part of the show is trying to teach, as you said, kids how to stay away from this life, how to get out of it. Is there a best piece of advice or a way that if you had a kid right in front of you, as I'm sure you've had many times, ask you about living this life of crime, how do you do it? How do you get away? How do you, cold turkey, get out?
I show them, I show them what can happen. I show them my life, you know what I'm saying? I show them how here I am, you know what I'm saying? Didn't catch a felony. I stopped right on time. I flipped my life around, joined the military. I actually have a son that's on. I have my son now. He's joining the Coast Guard. I just try to show them that this life or crime or whatever level, that is not worth it. It's completely not worth it. And John is firsthand, as you can see, that like I said, what he's doing with the kids is incredible. And I tell them, I said, if you go down this road, the only two things are going to happen. You're going to end up dead, or you're going to end up in jail for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And I say, you have examples in front of you. Use these examples in front of you and pick a choice. You understand what I'm saying? You have to pick a choice. You got to man up and pick a choice.
But Marco,
and a lot of the kids, if they're smart.
Obviously, you did a good job with your son because he's going into Coast Guard. So your message worked at home. And by the way, the people that don't know, Fat Joe, obviously one of the best rappers out there over the years, also works with kids on a regular basis, and he dedicates a lot of his life to kids. So, we want to commend him also and thank him for what he's been doing with the inner city kids in the community.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you something, Margo. Where'd you go when you were in the armed forces?
I was with the 101st Airborne Division. I was with Delta Company, 1st to the 502nd. I joined, like I said, when the crack epidemic was really bad in New York. And I had around 15, 16 years old. I had remember the summer youth jobs, John?
Sure.
When you get the job in the summer and they give you to clean the parks and they give you a couple of $100 or whatever.
Yep.
So that's why I ran into my first dead body when I was cleaning Claremont Park, and I'm wiping, I'm cleaning the park, and I run into this dead body there, and from there, I wanted to get out because I can't be here. So I went ahead and I left school, got my GED because I wanted to leave right away. And I was going into the Armed Forces, joined the 101st Airborne Division. I fought in Iraq with the 101st. We took the Al-Masad airfield. For me, that's why I got post-traumatic stress disorder, which I'm 100% service-connected for. And John can relate. Me and John, we relate in that way because when you have total social impairment, like what John went through, what I went through, life is, you got to take life, every day by day. You have your good days, as you can clarify with me, John. You got your good days and you got your bad days. But thank God that I did my military time. I went into the National Guard. I did 13 years then, and I went to government service, and I completed my 20 years. So I was one of the lucky ones. I was able to retire, in this way, and enjoy my life instead of spending. I could have went the other way. I mean, I could have been in jail right now, doing life in prison. You know what I mean? But I thank God that I chose a different route. And that's what I tell the kids. You got to change your life, and you got to look at what you want, and you got to visualize in your life what you want. And this is what I tell the kids. And for the most part, they pick the right choice. Some of them pick the wrong, but for the most part, they pick the right choice.
Hey, and Marco, you could show a perfect example because, I mean, think about it. How many of your friends are dead or in jail right now? You could show them. Like, same thing with me. How many of my friends are dead or in jail? You could actually show these kids, look back. They're all gone. They're all dead. They're all in jail. It's not like we're bullshitting here, you know?
Yeah, I sent the picture to Felix. I sent the picture to him, and that picture is Fat Joe and a bunch of guys around. Three of us, guys in the picture. There's only like three of us alive.
Marco, can you repeat that?
Repeat that. It broke up.
It broke up. We couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. I sent Felix a picture with Fat Joe way back before he was even a rapper. When he just got into rapping. And in the picture, there's probably about 9 guys, 9, 10, 12 guys in there. And out of all those guys in those pictures, there's only 3 of us alive.
Wow.
So that gives you like a kind of perspective on who picked the right choice and who picked the wrong choice.
Now, Marco, I just have a quick question as well. I mean, you talk about PTSD and,
sure.
I don't know how much you want to get into it or not, but, obviously a lot of people suffer from it as well. Will you just describe, I guess, maybe your experience and how you deal with it and how you deal with those good and bad days?
Well, with PTSD, there's triggers, and John can verify. There's triggers that can get you to a point where you become extremely violent, and you kind of go. My PTSD is like I kind of go blank. I don't remember a lot of things that happened, stuff like that. So, PTSD is a daily. I consider PTSD something in the realm of having to deal with like a drug habit. You know what I mean? It's a day by day. And I'm just making that as an example. You got to just work on it every single day, because they diagnosed me with social impairment, which means that I have a bad time. It's just, actually just being around, in closed places, and I really don't get along with too many people and stuff like that. And that's why I always advocate and I try to help. As a matter of fact, just recently here, I just helped a Vietnam veteran go to an appointment. So that's what I've been doing, giving time and helping these Vietnam vets and these guys coming back from Iraqi freedom, and joining, like swim groups and PTSD groups here, to kind of help me with mine, and I know John has been through like hell, you know what I mean? Especially in Brazil, you know what I mean? I don't even have to even get into it with him, just by him in the interviews and listening to him. I know Brazil was hell. I know being in prison is hell. I didn't do time like that like John did, but I was arrested because of my PTSD for aggravated assault. I was arrested, because of my PTSD and because of my service connection, I was given immunity. I was given like a chance. I wasn't charged, and the DA decided, he knew that, and that's when I actually got treated at the VA. Extensively, and more. The doctors got really involved in my PTSD.
Hey, Marco. So me and you had a lot of discussions about PTSD, and for people that are vets, that I'm involved and I advocate strongly for vets around the world. You can reach me on anybody that wants to discuss it, need help, need advice. They can reach you at the end of the interview. You can leave an email, a website, but my website is johnalite.com. And we're always available to help anybody that needs any help, that are vets that are out there struggling. But it's a daily, fight. I talk about it all the time. It's we go day to day, just what you said, as a drug addict or a gambler does. But we do it with each day. We take it as that day and move forward. And a lot of ways, Felix, to get through this is guys like me and Marco talking to each other, guys like us that can relate to it. So, we help each other through it. That's the biggest thing. That's why I advocate so much for the military, because we understand each other, and people that understand each other got to deal with each other, and that's the way you get the help that you can't get from an outsider that doesn't understand what we're going through.
Exactly.
So
exactly, you got to talk to someone that is going through what you're going through. Like for me, people sit here and call me a hero and they thank me for my service and stuff like that. But for me, a hero is a guy that is going out there like John's doing and putting on his shoes today and going out there and speaking to these kids. A guy for me is a hero that puts on his boots and goes out there and fight for something he don't know what the hell he's fighting for. He's just doing it for the guy that's next to him. You know what I mean? And for me, he's going to make a gigantic impact. He doesn't realize it now. I'm pretty, they not. But later on, you're going to see how this man right here, John Alite, is going to make a big difference. And and not only that, it's going to go in generation to generation. You know what I mean? Who knows if God, his son one day picks up from him and you know what I'm saying, and advocates. So I'm doing it for not today. I want to do it that it lasts to the next generation, because the generation that's growing up now it's a really scary place out there for them right now. Very scary.
Well, what you're saying, I'll bring it back to Gene came from the next generation under us, and obviously I took him in with partners.
Mad respect for Gene too. Mad respect.
And he's been, people thought he wouldn't make it out here, and I think he showed a lot of people. He's proven them wrong each day, and he's been advocating for kids. He's been talking to a lot of kids with me. So, that's what we're trying to advocate for. If it's just we keep growing in numbers to show the kids something positive and they can relate through our hard times, and hopefully guys like Gene keep pushing it forward to guys in his generation now. So,
Also, Marco, I don't have PTSD, but I have severe anger problems, and I know what you mean. Like, sometimes it's uncontrollable. You know what I mean? So that's something I work on. I really lose it, and within that 2 minutes, anything is just possible. So that's why, I definitely...
And Gene, I got a lot of respect for you, a lot of respect. John already knows that he's you guys are doing a great job, man, and congratulations to as far as you've gotten now. And the future is going to be so bright. You know what I mean? I just wanted to let you know that, from my heart.
Thank you.
And Gene, I think...
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
I think you mentioned it in previous episodes, but maybe also again for that person who maybe doesn't suffer from necessarily PTSD or anger or something else. For you, I think one of the ways that you talked about was working out.
Right.
Are there other ways that for that kid out there that's struggling, that maybe just got back home from jail, that has those tendencies, for advice on how to just take a breath, not go back to what they're known to do?
Well, here's the thing: you don't want to go back in that jail cell. So I mean that's what I always think about. I do not want to go back. That's the biggest thing. And plus, you have to have somebody to talk to, somebody to explain to you. Try to sit down with them like I talk to Johnny. Don't do this, don't do that, don't get caught up, don't let them do that, get you out of your character.
I would talk about another famous rapper, Casanova, right? And he's collaborating with a friend of ours in the next couple of weeks. He's another guy, keeps it real, tough guy from the street, became a family man, and he's on, and he did a talk on camera about he didn't want to go back. He was finished with jail after a while. He kept it real. He didn't. That's really when guys talk gangster. He kept it gangster. He went on, talked about being honest, talked about being in solitary confinement, talked about crying, talked about it breaking him.
Right.
And he was just a man that guys on the street can look up and say, "Hey, man, let me follow him. Let me follow what he says. Let me follow his path. Let me follow Fat Joe's, Marco's." Shout out to my friend Lance, who's also an ex-vet, and a bunch of his friends that I'm with a lot. These guys are real men, guys that are talking truth, not fronting out in the street to kids to front. So we got enough fronters out there. You want guys like Casanova that are sending a positive message. So, he's doing the right thing with his life now, man. And what he's talking, but let me lighten it up for you a second, Marco. Tell me what's going on because you were in the music business. You did some TV, you did some things. You ever think about going back that way again? Because you were good, actually.
I'm actually working on a new single. I'm actually, working on a new single right now. And I sing both English and Spanish. So I can't feel it. I'll send you a bunch of stuff too, John. Once I'm done with the single, I'm gonna send you the single exclusive before it even hits any of the stores, any of the internet, or anything like that, so you can check it out. I know you might be able to understand a little bit of it, but yeah, I'm working on the English single and a Spanish single. I was signed with Universal even right as soon as I left New York, left the military. I was signed in 2005, and I came down here to Florida. My dad was living here, and Universal Latino Records through Phono Sound, they gave me a 3-year contract, and I sang pretty much everywhere you can imagine with every big salsa artist. Frankie Negron, I opened up for Ismael Miranda, Obi Bermudez. You know, these guys I would open up shows for.
Sure.
And I'm getting an itch back again. I just dropped 80 pounds to get that, to get the commercial, to get back into shape because the music will take a lot. And actually, Fat Joe had a lot to do with that contract. I went to Miami. I think I sent you a few pictures of me in his house. We were having a meeting in his house, and and he kind of walked me in the door, and he was like, "Hey, man, he vouched for me." You know what I mean? And that was a big thing for him to do. You know what I mean? This guy is a multimillionaire. You know, he's a real G like you, John. This guy, let me tell you something. When you talk about gangster, you talking about Johnny, like you talking about, Fat Joe. These guys have been there, done that, and did it. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, he's the real deal. And he changed his life from all that he was doing, and look at him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he pushed me through that door. And I made some decent money, doing that. And
when you go back to that, Marco, when you go back to that, you got to remember, keep us in the background. You got to teach us some more salsa moves
absolutely.
like the old days.
Hey, John, I'm gonna get you in one of my videos.
All right.
Hey, Marco, I want to ask you.
I gotta have you one of those, man.
Yeah.
Hey, were you friends with Cuban Link, Marco? Were you friends with Cuban Link?
Me and Cuban, we talked. Me and Cuban talked about it. Last time I talked to him a couple years ago.
I liked all his music growing up.
Yeah, I talked to Cuban, and he was supposed to come down to Florida. We gave him a deposit, and something happened that the artist couldn't come up with the rest. So, we spoke on the phone. He knows my brother, Renee Santi. He knows him. They grew up together. I just hung out with Cuban in clubs here and there, and at the Copa, and things like that. So, but we never really hung out tough.
Right.
But Cuban knows. I met Cuban. I met Pun. I met him on Southern Boulevard. I talk with Tony Sunshine all the time. All the graffiti guys like Bio, BG, Mac, all these guys in New York. These guys are all legends they are legends. I'm telling you here.
Pun might be one of the best lyricists ever.
Yeah.
Possibly,
ever in the world. Yeah, he's the number one first Latino to go platinum.
Right.
That's a real it's proud for us in our culture.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcos, I have a quick question. Do you also, do you find music and performance, and for other people might be just other forms of art, has been an outlet for you?
It has been. It actually has been, because when I do music, I tend to forget about everything that's bad that's going around me. My PTSD, for some reason, it doesn't, when I see people and I'm singing, and I see these people looking at me and smiling, and they're touching me, and they're saying, and I changed their lives. I had people come up to me. I had a song called Empty Hearts. I wrote it. I co-wrote it with a guy. His name is Artie Rodriguez. And we co-wrote the song, and it was about my dad, because my dad left me when I was young. That's another thing, having a father and a mother in the house. You know what I mean? And and that's why I can relate a lot to John as well, because John, he wasn't there like he wanted to be for his children. Like the same thing that happened in my family. My dad left me when I was young. So I wrote a song called Empty Hearts, and I told him, I said, I forgive him for everything that had happened, but we can now make new memories. And now my dad lives 5 minutes from me. I see him every day, and we rebuild, and we got the new memories now, and we forgot about the past. So yeah, it does help me forget about my PTSD. It does help me forget about, all the disorders that I have, and especially, it just makes me happy. It really does. It really makes me happy, music.
Well, that's I know for me that's heartwarming to hear. And just quickly, where can people listen to some of your stuff?
They can either go to you can go to Amazon and buy the album. It's called A Mi Manera. It's Marco Santi, a mi manera, or you can go to YouTube, and there's a lot of, you can get 30, 40 seconds of the audio. Some of them are on there because the album's pretty old, so I kind of dumped it where people come into it. But if you want to get the album, you can go to Amazon and order the album through Amazon under Marco Santi.
Hey, when you send me that other stuff,
2005.
I'm going to start playing that in my car, man. I'll start promoting it when I come drive down to see you, because I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be heading.
Oh
that
yeah,
way.
definitely, for sure, John.
Yeah, we'll get together.
Yeah, I got you,
You'll
man.
laugh when I
gotta roll out the red carpet for you, brother.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm going to have your
sure.
music on my car when I stop.
I
over.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, definitely. I want to see maybe if I time it right and you get down here, and I have a show, I want to give you, full access, so you can meet all the guys and you can see. Definitely, for sure, absolutely. And I'm still talking to Fat Joe.
Okay.
I'm still getting through to him. I'm talking to his people.
All right.
I still want to connect you and him together. And I'm pretty sure he's just really busy right now with his. He has also a podcast as well.
Yeah.
But he definitely, man, I know he definitely wants to do something. He just doesn't know when.
All right.
So
cool.
I got that back from his people.
All right. Good. Thank you, brother.
But I'm working on you, brother. I
know you are. I know. And I'll talk to you this week.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying my best.
Hey, for sure. And I appreciate
absolutely.
everything, Marco. Really appreciate it, brother. And really, and for those guys out there, anybody who's struggling, the vets, get in touch with us any which way you want. And you're not alone out there. We'll all be there for you. Same with the kids out there. Anybody needs anything, is contact any of us. And I'll definitely see you in the next couple of weeks, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. That'd be great, man.
All right,
I'd love to take you out, get some and really chop it up with you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Marco, we'll drop all of the links to all your music and where people can find you. We just plug it right now, and then we'll also drop it on the on the comment section of the video when we post it.
Right, and anybody who wants any help like that, they can reach me at Marco Santi on Instagram or Marco Riot Santi on Facebook. That's the name on Facebook. And anybody needs help with any clean and anything like that, man, you just give me a holler, man. And we got an old saying in Spanish, somos amigos con los sin. That means we're friends with or without money. Doesn't matter. You understand what I'm saying? We'll make it work. You know what I mean? If I got to come to you, you got to come to me. We just make it happen. The big thing here is to help the veteran, to help the kid, to help those people out there who need it. You know what I'm saying? And we also have a saying in Spanish, "Tu ayuda y Dios te ayudará," which means you help them and God will help you.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Beautiful.
Thank you, buddy.
Anybody who wants to reach us, johnelite.com or John Elite Officially on Instagram. And Gene?
You can reach me at my Instagram, GeneBoy666, and make sure to tune in.
Hey, you want to win that pick? Pick that winner this year, this week, next month. ALiteSports.com.
Beautiful.
Yep.
And you can follow
enjoying all that stuff. And I got your books, John, by the way.
I know you do, bro.
So I've been supporting all your stuff, buying your books. You know what I'm saying? I want to get on anything that has to do with John, man. I want to be in.
Thank you.
I'm all in.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. You take care,
See
guys.
you, man.
Later.